Hey guys, how y'all doing? We're going to have a look at today a Kickstarter preview. It's called Aetherdark Sail the Astral Sea. The creator just reached out to me there about a week and a half ago. Asked if I wanted to have a look at this. He gave me access to the book that he will be coming out with. Also a part of this, there is a preview you can look at. It's going to be a quick start guide, and this guy has even created a bunch of fiction so you can read and understand what's going on. So there's going to be rules on this for ship combat, ship travel. You can use this on water as well as, like it says here, on the astral seas. He's created his own sort of system for mutations being exposed to the ether. You're going to be battling creatures and monsters on the way to planets and other places. And of course, if you don't want to do that within this whole like fiction that he sort of created, you can still use pretty much all these rules as part of your normal adventures to travel to other places. So what we're going to do is we're going to have a look at the quick start guide. Just go over that real quickly so you can have a look, and if you want you can pick this up before this launches. This is going to come out on the 22nd of April, so when this gets published it should be out maybe a day or the day of this video coming out, so you can check it out. We'll have a look at one of the fiction he's already put out for that we can look at, and on his website he has a list of, I think it's 10 pieces of fiction. All these pieces seem to be around 28 to 40 pages long, so there's quite a lot to it. If you want to learn more about the world and universe and stuff that he's creating, and so far on the website 4 out of 10 have been released. So what we're going to do now is we're going to have a look at the quick start guide, and then we're going to look at the full rules that he sent me. Again, I haven't been paid to do this. He asked me if I want to have a look. I already pre-signed up for this, and it's something I will be buying directly with my own money. So let's go have a look at this now. Here's Aetherdark's quick start guide. It's going to have different kinds of ships you can get. It's going to talk about crews. So again, we're just going to look through this quickly, and then we'll have a look at the full rules that he has for this. This quick start guide is 64 pages. The full rules is over 300, so it's not a small book by any means. Then you're going to have the fiction and stuff like that. Because the different ships you can get, the armor, some equipment that you can have for it. It's going to have rules in this for siege combat, ship-to-ship combat. They can also be used on water. So again, you don't have to use this across the astral sea. You can use this all a part of like normal adventures. And again, if you want to go to other places, maybe visit other worlds, it's a good way to add in sort of like weird fantasy, like science fiction fantasy, into your game if you want to do this. So this could appeal to not just people who want to travel and do other weird stuff like that. There's also, in the full rules, it's going to have mutation points or mutations you can roll up if you're spending too much time across the ether. It talks about like you're going to have to get crews, you're going to have crew events, the crews are going to level up along with you, how all that works. Again, we'll just have a quick look down through this here. Here's some of the ships you can get. And how the movement and stuff for the ships works, it's going to be pretty much exactly the same as for your normal movement. It's going to have close, near, and far for distances. So there's nothing crazy new that you have to remember. It's all familiar. And how the combat works is quite simple. You can upgrade your decks. You can add more stuff to your ships, more armor, different kinds of weapons. Again, rams, ammunition. It talks about the distance again, the close, near, far away, naval movement, pursuit, ship actions, siege attacks, ramming, boarding actions. Again, you could be on a normal adventure, or maybe you want to have seafaring adventures. This is a great way to have this as well. You don't have to go into the weird and fantastical if you don't want. You can use a huge portion of this for your normal adventures as well. Like it's going to have a bunch of monsters in the full version, and this is going to have a bunch of monsters as well. You can still place them in the water if you want. Have them as like krakens coming out of water attacking your ship. Or again, if you want to go full in sort of fiction he's created, you can do that. Or do a mix of both. It's going to have provisions, how much food you're going to need, encounters, and again, in the full rule is going to have encounter tables and charts for different kinds of areas within the space, how to create travel paths, create travel paths, and you have the different nebulas. There's going to be some of your monsters and NPCs. It's going to have, like here, it's going to have pirates, the ships, and the actual crew members. Again, in the full version, it's going to have a lot more of everything. You have different factions. Again, you're going to have some large scale beasts, leviathans, the kraken, astral kraken, other astral beasts. And again, here is going to link you to his website. So what we're going to do is we're going to have a look at that website just for a minute. Before we do that, we'll just have a quick look at one of the pieces of fiction here. As you see, this has, what was it, 40 pages long. Has its own unique art style. I think it looks great. And again, it's just going to have lots of information. If you want to get deep into this, you can. If you don't want it, you don't need to. But it's obviously a part of how this was developed. For people who want to dive into the more, again, the fantastical, weird, wacky side of things. And again, here it talks about like what is the ether, and we'll go over this more in the next section after we have a look at the website in the actual core book he's created for this. So yeah, there's 40 pages here. There's a lot going on, and this is a big Kickstarter. It's going to be, he put a lot into it. So yeah, we'll have a look at the website now. And here's the Aetherdark website. Sail the Astral Seas with Shadowdark compatible rules. Then if you click on any of these, it's going to bring you to the Kickstarter page. And that's the first piece of fiction we looked at. There's a second, third, and fourth, and you can see there's 10 in total. The 4 of them have been released. So I'm going to assume over the course of the Kickstarter, or maybe the coming weeks or months, he's going to release more to the public, which is really interesting. So again, you can see it's probably going to embrace some of the more weird and wacky science fantasy stuff, which is always fun. And we'll have a look at the Aetherdark book now itself, the full rules. I'm not going to go over everything in that. I just want to give an idea of what you're going to be getting. Again, he's kindly given me access to this so I can show it off for all you guys. And here is the Aetherdark core book. Again, this is over 300 pages. It looks to be 308 pages, and basically this is already a complete product. So at least the PDF is. I'm going to assume he's probably may have to do some minor changes if there's any spelling mistakes and stuff like that. But this is already ready to go by the looks of it. I've been reading this over the last week. I just want to get an idea of what this is. I'm not just going to be given something, or someone asks me to look at something and then spend 2 seconds looking at it and be like, oh, you know, blah, blah, blah. No, I want to have an idea. I want to understand some of the systems in place. I'm not going to spoil things because I don't want people to rob stuff. I'm not going to show off everything. This guy's worked exceptionally hard, and I want to show this off because, again, I will be backing this. I already had this on alert on the Kickstarter when I came across it there. Maybe I think it was 4 or 5 weeks ago. I saw when I searched up on Kickstarter Shadowdark stuff. And yeah, so it has different ship classes here. So it's going to be similar to the stuff we already looked at in the preview page. Again, deck upgrades, naval upgrades, the fuel costs, ship armors, rams, ballista ammo, bolt ammo, hurler ammo, all the different stuff you can have on your ship. And again, all this can be used in normal naval combat. As talked about, like the ships and what all the stats mean, crew morale, number of crew, the actions, crew attacks. It talks about the siege weapons here. You're going to roll dex or intellect, 1 attack per crawler. Others use crew stats and cannot crit, so you can't just rely on using your NPC crews to do maximum damage all the time. Ship boarding actions, how you're going to go about that, rallying cries, directing the crew to do what you want. Again, it's going to give you DC checks as a baseline. Again, if you're a DM, you can change the stuff. It's something you think something should be more difficult, you're going to change that as like any other game. Naval combat, closing distance in, travel, landing and takeoff. Again, you're going to be traveling to an astral sea, and that's going to have effects on your body And here's the table of contents. So you can see it has a lot on the ships here. Everything that's in it. There's from page 29 to 83. It's got ship stuff. Gameplay stuff is 81 to 107. Travel, GM advice, how to do everything. The ether, what these things are, what they mean. They're gonna have like civilizations and other places you can visit, which again, you don't have to implement that, but if you do, it's there. Other worlds and how you're gonna visit them, how you land on these places safely. Everything's here, and again, you're gonna have a huge bestiary, so enemy lists. And again, not all these have to be enemies. You can use, like, here has smugglers. You can use these as part of trade, or if you're trying to get something from somebody or go somewhere or learn information. Everything can be used for your own benefit as a player, as long as you're able to, like, maybe convince people of things. You're gonna have military stuff, pirates, the different kind of ships. Each section, it does have ships and stats for different types of characters and peoples. And there's more here, and you get into the more beasts sort of stuff here, and there's a lot of them. So this is a big boy book. It has here, what is Astral Dark? Sail between the stars and visit strange worlds, be an explorer, a pirate, about the hunter, explore. Aetherdark. The setting, Aetherdark can be played in many settings, but it supposes a particular way of the universe and sailing between stars. If you have a different concept of how wooden ships sail between worlds, these rules will still work. If you want more of the setting, you can find fiction and the rulebook at aetherdark.com, and we already looked at that. Again, he has 4 out of 10 already released that you can download and look at right now. And again, you can go to the Kickstarter page, you can get the free preview, so you can have an idea if you think this is going to be worth your while or not. Again, the siege weapons, crews, all that stuff. Crew advancement, how you're going to level everyone up. It talks about how the stats they start off in, so you're not going to be rolling random numbers for all of them. They're all going to start on 8 for everything. Do this 14 times at the first level, reroll if that stat would exceed 18. So it'll be a point system. Reputations, crew improvements by level. So this is going to be similar to like a player. So as you level up, you're going to probably roll on the specialist charts and stuff like that. Crew reputations, and these are going to be basically the type of crews that they are. So you have merchants, explorers, blockade runners, which are basically smugglers, marauders, not not simply a well-run ship, but a vessel laden with warriors ready to battle on deck or planetside. So again, you can imagine, like, if you had a spin-off game of this, you just have a bunch of orcs and goblins as players going around causing havoc in the world. That'd be fun. Navigators, pirates, swashbucklers, nebulants, crew events, how you're going to use the tables that are in here. Crew events at port, D100 table. So let's just have a look at 1 or 2. So 7 to 18, a local leader riles up a mob claiming the crew are cultists. So there you go. You basically have a once-off entanglement, or it could cause like a big plot to develop. Your ship, imagine if your ship getting pounded, then you have to try and get out. You're stuck on a planet. You're going to have a couple games off that one event. Again, it's going to do the ship stats, what everything is, the cargo, different kinds of ships here, and with this part, it has more of everything. Like here, it has activities on the type of ship you're on. As we go down, there's going to be more of that. I saw this earlier, and all I can think of, I think it's very clearly inspired by what you call it, pod racing, but with a bigger ship. Star Chariots. So there's lots of ships, lots of options here. Longboats. So you have like Viking type ships as well. If you want, you can say these are all technological ships. You can say they're all wooden ships and they're powered by magic. It's going to be up to you guys or your team on how you want to play this. You want to do the weird, wacky, science, fantasy, fiction sort of stuff, do that, or you just want to say it's just pure fantasy magic. So there's a lot. It talks about how you can get your own ships. You can rob them if you're prior ownership. You're just riding along. Again, maybe if you want to have a normal game, and maybe there's a super powerful wizard in it, and you need to go to a different planet for several games, it's gonna have a way you can do that. Maybe get lost on the way. So again, there's a lot here. It has custom ships you can do. So what we're gonna do is gonna skip a little forward, and we're not gonna go over everything. Don't want to spoil too much. This is some of the combat stuff that's gonna be basically the same as in the preview, because you're gonna need to know how to do things like travel and combat. And it's quite a simple system. Again, everything, the stuff with Shadowdark is already simple, and it's just taking advantage of that. Here's gonna have more stuff. You have like injuries, like key events, travel. So you have abstract exploration. So if the players think they find something they're looking for, is that what it is? You kind of has like a rolling chart you can use to find out if this is what they're looking for, if it isn't what they're looking for. Hex-based travel, how you can do that. You know, it's basically covered every single thing you're going to need. In the hex-based travel, then, you know, it's going to be similar enough to the normal travel. It's just faster. So there's nothing crazy different that you don't have to remember a whole new set of rules. You open up the page, like, oh yeah, this is how we do the hexes. So we're going slow. We're going to go a half hex per hour. Each hex is 6 miles. That's just to keep it relative to the game, because in reality it could be 1 billion miles. But yeah, again, more into provisions like we looked at earlier a little bit. So it has the cargo values. So you can trade livestock, drugs, textiles, fishing goods, or anything else you as a DM can think of. Minerals, it could be a bunch of magical stuff. So what we're going to do is going to skip off into another section. I don't want to go over everything. Again, spoil too much. So this is the GM and advice section. Again, it's going to cover basically anything and everything you can think of. How you can do things. Like it says, don't be too strict with things down here. Where is it? Don't be strict. Have safe worlds. Not every world has to be crazy, dangerous. You know, have local quests. So maybe you're going to be on a world for a long time. Maybe you want to spend like 10 games in one place. You know, again, it's going to be up to the players and the DM. How do you want to do everything? I've been looking over this over the past week or so, and it is very good. Everything's laid out really well. It makes sense. It's not doing anything super overly complex that you need to remember 20,000 new things. Again, it's sticking to the core principles of the Shadowdark Rulebook. If you need to know how to do something, you just open up the appropriate page. You're going to roll on some charts. And like stuff like this, it's going to have also general advice on how to do things. Like you have bounty hunting options, how you can go about that, random hunting, random bounties, you know. Again, and as well, if you want, you can expand upon this list if you want. More on the bounty hunter stuff, recognizable features of people, creatures, or places that you're trying to get to or capture. And this is the destination world. It has here on page 206 how to create different places. If you want, you can pre-do this as a DM, or you can create things on the fly. Again, not everything has to be crazy, fantastical. It can be a lot of safe places, or it could all be like alien. Talks about drawing maps, drawing nebulas, drawing stars, the map sizes, how many hexes you're going to need if you want to have like a good scale. And it gives you an example of how to do it. So like this is, again, nothing is left to just you to try and I don't know how to do this. It's all detailed, but it's still simple. It's detailed to show you how to do it, but it's simple in the sense that it's not overly convoluted. Again, the writing is very straightforward. Here it has ether mechanics. So the ether, reality is built from ether, but raw ether is just this disorganized potential. It clings like dust to bits of reality, taking on aspects of reality for a time and then returning to dust. Ether is generally thought of as silver or white, and that is the Dominion shade, but it can acquire any hue. Some claim it all has rich undertones, but most only see colourful ether in Nebula. Landing and taking off, again, it has everything you're going to want in this. So I think I'll go on to another section here. So we have the terrain and sailing the ether. So this is going to be a rolling chart you can use as basically what's coming up when you're in an area. So again, let's say we roll a 9, a swirling ether swirling about the void of stellar collapse. So what could that be? That could be a destroyed planet or star. Is that going to have any negative effects? It's going to have creatures around it. Maybe it's going to have one of those big leviathans we heard about that's feeding off its energy. That could be extreme danger to the characters and the crew. And of course, then it goes to like what these things actually do. And again, this is just meant to be inspiration. You can create some of your own. Again, I'll have then D100 tables for different kinds of areas, like you would with when you're stepping into a new area in Shadowdark. See wall clear, and you can decide as a DM what kind of area it is, or if you've rolled up previously, because like different parts of the world, just like in Shadowdark, are going to be more dangerous or more safe. Civilized Nebula, you can assume that's probably going to be a little more safer in terms of less evil monsters and creatures, leviathans, but you're probably going to have, again, like what has here, more pirates and other kinds of danger. Maybe not the crazy giant monsters trying to suck the world dry or the universe dry of all its energy. Anomalies entering our world spaces, the systems, and this is here how you were going to basically roll up a world, and it goes through it there. So I don't want to go into too much in this because this is a big part of it, because we saw that chart that you as a DM can create them. You're going somewhere, or you can just create it on the fly. And here is the enemy section / bestiary. So there's lots of crews and crewmen, specialists, and different kinds of encounters. If you come down here, we're actually going to get stats for here. There's some civilian stats, and then civilian sort of ships. So there's a bulk trader, an ether liner. So that's going to be like a place for the very rich and well-off people of the universe, or the ether. The crusade. Again, they're going to have different factions of groups of people. You have crusader priests, Templar, zealots, and again, ships for all these as well. So there's quite a lot. Like this I think it's about 50-60 pages of that. Yep. Then we have the Krakens and other giant monsters, blobs of things that want to suck the energy of everything and destroy. Congealed Nebula. This is actually really fun. A dense ether pulled together, forming a sentient sludge. It stretches, I cannot say that word, it stretches out, lashes onto emptiness of space, and pours itself through and rolls across ships. So you can imagine this is like a part of what that was once a nebula or a group of planets, dust and energy, and then the ether came along and transformed it into this sludge. Remember, the ether, for a time, it will create things. So maybe this is only a temporary thing. So if you come to an area and you see this thing here and attacks your ship, maybe you get away. Next time you come, maybe it won't be there. Maybe it's just completely disappeared and it doesn't exist anymore. Or maybe it's there for 1,000 years. There's no real sense of if it's going to be there for good because of how the ether works. It says for a time. How long is that time? I don't know. So we have astral beasts here, different kinds of creatures, monsters, life forms. And again, this is 308 pages long. So this might increase a little bit or decrease in size, maybe clean some stuff up. But this is essentially like a preview copy that was given. Yeah, preview copy. Yeah, that's it, guys. So, and oh yeah, here's the sort of cheat sheet it has here for some of the stuff. But yeah, that's basically it, guys. So let me know what you think. I will be backing this myself. I'm going to leave a description I'm going to leave in the description where you can find this on Kickstarter. I'll also leave description for the website if you want to check out the other fiction books he also has out. So this again looks to be a huge project. Like this fiction here, it's 40 pages long. He has 10 of them, and there's 4 out currently, at least as of recording this. So yeah, guys, like, comment, let me know what you think. I shall talk to you all again soon. Good luck.